By the end of this video, I'm exposing 10 secret wealth hacks the ultra-rich don't want you to know. The quiet strategies they use to outsmart the system, stay rich without looking rich, and make money while pretending to be average. The fact of the matter is this: the wealthy aren't just swimming in cash because they work harder or got lucky. Nah, they're following a secret playbook the rest of us were never handed. A system designed to hide wealth in plain sight, dodge taxes legally, and grow empires while everyone else is arguing about cutting Netflix subscriptions. You see, they don't save money, they leverage it. They don't chase income, they engineer cash flow. And they definitely aren't clipping coupons. So, if you've ever thought, how are these people always winning while I'm out here budgeting like it's a competitive sport? Stick around. Once you learn these hacks, you'll start seeing money the way the rich do, as a game. And spoiler alert, they've been playing chess while most people are still losing at checkers. It's time we blow the lid off the quiet strategies of the ultra-wealthy. Hack number 10, they turn income into assets fast. So here's the first and one of the most important wealth hacks the ultra-rich swear by. They never just earn money, they immediately convert it into assets. Most people, they get paid, they spend it. The ultra-rich, they get paid, they buy income. And don't worry, I'll show you how it works with real examples, so bear with me. Let's say a regular person earns $10,000 a month. They might use that to upgrade their car, rent a luxury apartment, or go on a spontaneous trip to Bali so they can get away. Meanwhile, someone ultra-wealthy takes that same $10,000 and puts it into a boring rental property that pays them $800 a month, or stocks that throw off consistent dividends, or a business they don't work in but still profits from. Why? Because they want their money to work harder than they do. As we discussed in previous videos, it's not just about income. It's about buying income streams. Every dollar they earn is a soldier, and they're sending those soldiers out to conquer land, bring back gold, and never come home broke. Example: Warren Buffett doesn't keep cash in a bank. He buys businesses. He owns Coca-Cola, Apple, American Express. Not because he likes the brand, but because they send him millions in passive income every year. He's not trading time for money. He's stacking assets that print money for him 24/7. So now you're thinking, cool, I'll just buy a rental property and become a millionaire overnight. Not so fast. Because if you really want to scale, you need to understand something. And it's a sneaky one the IRS doesn't want you to know. Hack number 9, they use debt to legally dodge taxes. Let me hit you with a truth bomb. The ultra-rich love debt. Now, I know this might sound confusing, but it's not the kind you're thinking of. Not credit cards, not payday loans, not financing a $6,000 couch from Restoration Hardware. I'm talking about strategic wealth-building debt. See, regular folks borrow money to buy things that lose value. Rich people borrow money to buy assets that make money. Even crazier? When they borrow against their assets, they don't pay taxes on it. Here's how it works. Let's say you own $5 million in stocks. You could sell some and pay capital gains tax. Or, if you're ultra-rich, you walk into a private bank and say, "Hey, I'd like a $2 million loan against my portfolio." They hand it over. No tax. Why? Because loans aren't income. And as long as your assets stay intact or grow, you're just living on borrowed money, tax-free. This is called the buy, borrow, die strategy. Buy assets, borrow against them, never sell, and when you die, your heirs get a tax break too. Real-life example. Elon Musk once borrowed billions using Tesla stock as collateral. He didn't sell. He didn't pay taxes. He lived like a king, while the IRS got played like a fiddle. And please, I have to pause the video right now and explain something to you. Most people will watch and don't apply anything I'm telling you. And it's not just this video. We've already created specific step-by-step playlists to help you truly master the money game and finally build that stealth wealth mindset. Just make sure to subscribe and join our members list to stay updated. But if that last hack didn't make your jaw drop, wait till you see how the ultra-rich literally create money out of thin air, and it has everything to do with corporations. Hack number 8, they hide behind corporations. Here's the truth nobody tells you. The ultra-rich don't pay for things personally. They pay for it all. Through companies. Jet fuel, business expense, luxury hotel conference, tax write-off, private chef while working from their home office, you guessed it, deductible. Let me just explain a concept to you that I want you to remember for the rest of your life. When you operate as a business, the tax game flips. Regular people earn. get taxed, spend. Rich people earn, spend, get taxed on what's left. They use LLCs, S corporations, holding companies, and trusts like chess pieces on a tax-advantaged board. Here's a real-life example to help you fully understand. Jeff Bezos didn't pay income taxes for years. Why? Because most of his income came from stock growth, not a salary. Meanwhile, Amazon, his company, got tax deductions for everything from warehouses to employee perks. You can be broke on paper while secretly owning an empire. So you're probably thinking, okay, I need an LLC like yesterday. But before you start printing business cards, you need to master one thing, which is how the ultra-rich scale without burnout. Hack number 7. They multiply time, not just money. Here's a brutal truth I want you to take note of. You can always make more money, but you'll never make more time. That's why the ultra-rich don't just obsess over money, they obsess over multiplying time. See, average people try to do everything themselves. I know many people who make this mistake. They say things like, why pay someone $100 when I can just spend my Saturday figuring it out on YouTube? Meanwhile, the wealthy are thinking, why waste a Saturday saving $100 when I could use that time to close a $10,000 deal? They understand this law. If you can buy time, you can buy freedom. So instead of mowing lawns, editing videos, or dealing with customer support, they outsource, delegate, and hire experts so they can focus on the highest value use of their time. Real-life example. Look at any high-level entrepreneur. They have assistants, coaches, nannies, chefs, accountants, lawyers, not because they're lazy, but because they understand one thing. The only person who should be doing your job is someone who can't do anything else better. Now, since I've talked about this topic extensively, I often get a recurring question. How do the rich keep control of everything if they're not actually doing it all? That's where this next hack comes in, because the ultra-rich own nothing and control everything. Hack number 6. They own nothing but control everything. I want you to listen to me carefully because this is where the game gets real. The ultra-rich love to say, control is more important than ownership. Why? Because ownership has a price. Taxes, liabilities, legal exposure. Control, that's power, without the risk. Here's how it works. They create layers of companies and trusts to hold the actual assets. So instead of owning a yacht personally, they have a consulting firm lease it. Instead of putting real estate in their name, it's owned by an LLC, inside a trust, managed by a holding company. To the public, they look like humble, asset-light citizens. In reality, they control an empire. Real-life example. The British royal family doesn't technically own Buckingham Palace. It's held in trust, which means no inheritance tax. Same for the Vatican. Same for billionaires who structure their wealth like a ghost in the financial machine. The name of the game? Hide in plain sight. And now that you understand how they control assets invisibly, you're probably wondering, okay, but how do they keep getting richer without anyone noticing? That's where this next hack comes in, and trust me, this one's hidden in plain sight too. Hack number 5, they use insider deals you never see. Let me break your heart real quick. By the time you hear about a hot investment, the ultra-rich already got in, got paid, and got out. You're not late to the party. You weren't even invited. Because here's the truth. The best deals never hit public markets. They happen over quiet lunches, private calls, behind velvet curtains of capital. Now, I'll discuss this topic briefly because I've already talked about it in previous videos. These are called off-market deals, pre-IPOs, private placements, early-stage venture rounds, and they're not available to the average person. Why? Because the game is rigged. Legally, SEC regulations limit access to accredited investors, aka people who are already rich. It's like a club that says, only millionaires are allowed to multiply their money at 100x speed. Real-life example, take Airbnb. Before it IPO'd, early investors bought in at dirt cheap prices. Some made 100x returns. But unless you were in those private rooms, you bought after the hype, at full price, for pennies of profit. So what do the ultra-rich do after they cash out big from these hidden deals? They don't buy a Lambo and announce it on Instagram. Nope, they play a different game. And it's the complete opposite of what you've been taught. Hack number 4, they use lifestyle creep in reverse. All right, let's stop playing around for a minute and get serious. I found that a lot of people increase their lifestyle the second they get a raise. New paycheck, new car, new job, bigger apartment. You'd think they just won the lottery the way their expenses grow faster than their income. The ultra-rich, they flip the script. They use lifestyle creep in reverse, meaning as their income goes up, their spending doesn't. In fact, many of them intentionally live way below their means, but not because they're frugal. It's because they know that every dollar not spent on flexing can be used to build the next income stream. Real-life example. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same gray shirt every day. Warren Buffett lives in the same house he bought in 1958. Keanu Reeves rides the subway. They're not trying to look rich. They're trying to stay rich. The flex isn't how much you can spend, it's how little you need to while owning everything. So please, if you've ever been a victim of lifestyle creep, or maybe you just enjoy living a lavish lifestyle, don't take this personal. I've been in your position at some point. But now when I look back, I realized that the problem wasn't how much money I was making. It was in my mindset. Oh, and here's the wild twist. When the rich do spend on luxury, it's not for ego, it's for leverage. Let me show you how they turn Gucci into gains. Hack number 3. They turn luxury into leverage. Think luxury is just a status symbol? For the ultra-rich, it's a strategic asset. Because when they buy luxury, it's rarely just for fun. It's either a tax write-off, hello, business expense, a networking tool, a value-storing asset, or all three. Let's break it down. That $100,000 Rolex might be bought through a business as a client gift. That first-class flight, business travel. That luxury car, leased through a company. That handbag, limited edition, appreciates in value. They monetize status, and they use lifestyle perks as tools of influence. Real-life example. Watch collectors will tell you, certain Patek Philippe or Rolex models actually gain value over time. One sold for $11 million. That's not a watch. That's a portable vault. Same goes for art, wine, and rare cars. What you thought was flexing was really investing. But here's where it gets even more cunning. Because the ultra-rich don't just play by the rules. They dig through the rule book, find the fine print, and turn it into profit. Hack number 2. They exploit loopholes you've never heard of. If you didn't know this already, the IRS tax code is literally 75,000 plus pages long, and most people know maybe 2 pages of it. The ultra-rich, they hire experts who memorize the rest. Their goal? To find every loophole, incentive, credit, deduction, shelter, and strategy possible to legally reduce taxes to almost zero. This isn't shady, it's smart. Because the government rewards behavior it wants more of. And the ultra-rich just play along. Buy real estate, get depreciation, write-offs. Start a business, deduct almost everything. Invest in oil, solar, film production. Tax credits galore. Give to charity, cut your tax bill while boosting reputation. Real-life example. Donald Trump legally used real estate depreciation to offset millions in income. He called it smart. And honestly, it kind of is. If you're not using the rule book, you're the one being played. But even with all the money-saving hacks, the ultra-rich don't think in monthly budgets or yearly tax returns. They think in generations. That brings us to this next one. And it's the one that truly separates the rich from the wealthy. Hack number 1. They think generational, not monthly. Okay, be honest. Most people are just trying to survive until Friday. The ultra-rich are planning for 2075. They think in decades, not days. They're not building a good year. They're building a dynasty. How? They set up trust funds to protect family wealth, create family offices to manage money for generations, teach their kids how money works before they ever hand over a dollar, design legacy plans that outlive them by 100 plus years. Here's a real-life example. The Rockefeller family has maintained massive wealth across 6 generations. Why? Because John D. Rockefeller didn't just build an oil empire. He built a system that kept multiplying wealth after he died. Money doesn't make you rich. Systems make you rich and keep you rich. Bonus hack. They buy access, not just assets. This is golden advice I want you to remember for the rest of your life. What is the real secret weapon of the ultra-rich? It's not money. It's access. They buy into rooms where deals happen before they go public. They join elite masterminds. They invest in relationships because one connection can unlock millions in opportunity. They'll drop $50,000 to attend a private summit because they know that rubbing elbows with 20 other multimillionaires is more valuable than any book or YouTube tutorial. Real-life example. VCs in Silicon Valley don't fund the best ideas. They fund their friends. If you're not in the room, you don't get the deal. The lesson? Stop chasing assets. Start building access. So let's recap the 10 secret wealth hacks of the ultra-rich. They turn income into assets. They use debt to legally dodge taxes. They hide behind corporations. They multiply time, not just money. They own nothing but control everything. They use insider deals you never see. They use lifestyle creep in reverse. They turn luxury into leverage. They exploit loopholes you've never heard of. They think generational, not monthly. They buy access, not just assets. If this opened your eyes to how the rich really play the game, don't just nod and scroll away. Hit that like button. Comment, "I'm building wealth," if you're done playing small. In fact, when it comes to building wealth, there are actually 10 money lies in today's society you still believe, and it's costing you dearly. We break it down step by step in this next video. Just click the video on the screen here and we'll see you in the next one.